storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game, the algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursement? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. Reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live for Seller Day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope, Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage Stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Let's scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell the day. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark boards, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. All text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope.
They got the S&P cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe, helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden rule. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium-10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. All text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the SOP so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth. Let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. Laser Chase. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday Live Q&A. My name is Phil Wickham. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing here at My Amazon Guy. And I'm here to answer any and all of your questions. So if you have a question, throw it in the chat. People have been throwing questions in the chat for a couple hours now. If you really want to get your question answered first, become a channel member or do a sponsored chat, and your chat will pop up first and foremost. So there. All that being said, we'll be live until there's either no questions or for another, I guess, hour and a half. Who knows? I guess we'll see. We're just going to be hanging out, having a good time. So let's see here first and foremost. Abdullah. Amazon ad video options and sponsored product. Any thoughts? Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. As far as options go, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. But at the same time, I think video in general is something that only converts for specific products. Video is not something that on Amazon, at the very least, will convert for like every single type of seller and every single type of product. It has a very specific, I guess, like use case, right, in what videos you're doing. So that's the one thing that I would, oh, it looks like I just got a notification, that I would take a note when you're doing sponsored product. It's the only thing. So how do you quickly identify high ROI wholesale products? You don't. I mean, you essentially find a product, you look it up on Amazon, you go and put the metrics for what you're doing into Amazon's, whatever it is, into Amazon's like main, what is it? The FBA revenue calculator. That's what I'm looking for. You put all of it into the FBA revenue calculator, and then you can go from there. Same has another question. ROI, same thing. FBA revenue calculator. A lot of this wholesale stuff, which keep signals matter most for wholesale. Profit matters the most. I'm gonna skip through a couple of these because there was a lot they put in. So I'm gonna go Realify. So I have a mint. My sales have been terrible all October and even November. And now Black Friday has come, and I don't want to participate in it. Just lose units and barely make profit. But is it best to wait for December? Yes. So here's the thing when it comes to November. Your sales are going to suck until about Black Friday. Once Black Friday comes around, your sales can start to do a little bit better, but overall they're still going to be like not the best they ever have been. The other aspect there is that essentially when you're dealing with any product that you're not wanting to like sell through, I mean, it just takes time, right? So there's always a cutoff point, but I would really guess and see whether or not, Black Friday does it for you. More than likely, you're going to run out of units. You're going to run out of product through Black Friday. So that'll be kind of like your high selling season, so to speak. That would be my best advice there, Realify, honestly. And no, you don't have to run a promotion for Black Friday. You can, but honestly, a lot of times with Black Friday, you're going to get the sales, you're going to get the traction regardless. But yeah, October and November are just rough months because people nowadays know that Black Friday is going to be like a week or 2 week long endeavor, basically. So it's hard. I shouldn't have eaten this mint. It's like all in my mouth now. It's fine. All right. I know it's a good idea when sales are low and traffic is lower to try and outsell your competition on certain keywords that you want to rank for. So when traffic comes back, you'll be ranked high already and get more sales. Yes. On Amazon, you need sales to get sales. What this essentially equates to and what you're saying is that, yes, even when traffic is, really low, is actually your most advantageous time to double down on keywords, on sales, on traffic in general. Literally, one of the core principles I have for seasonality products is it is more impactful for you during your off season to focus heavily on your overall sales volume than during your actual high season. Because once you actually get through your off season and once you are in that off season, you're going to want to make sure that in your high season, you have a great ranking. The only way to do that is in your off season, really focusing in very heavily, again, on those specific keywords for high relevancy, high ranking, everything. So yeah, if you're in a low sales period right now, is like prime time to be focused on that. Hello, Noah. Does your company's house address need to be the exact business address on Amazon? I want to use a virtual address for company's house and use my warehouse address for my Amazon business. So the only thing is that your address on your LLC documentation and your business registration needs to match what you upload on Amazon. You can have a different warehouse address. You can have a different address in the actual field for like the about field of your company. But when it comes to the legal entity and your registered business address, that just has to match whatever is on your LLC documentation. That's the only criteria there. Hey, Noah, about to launch a new product. What percentage should I structure my ads? For broad, phrase, exact, auto. My niche is extremely small with the top competitor ranking for 105 keywords. So you can imagine exactly how small my niche is. The top guy is ranked for only 105 keywords, and the second is ranked for 98 keywords. Yeah, that is a really, really small one. Really small niche category there you have. Here's what I would typically recommend. So from a percentage basis, if you have a really, really small niche, that means that there is a very small amount of like what is that you can actually target for high relevancy. You probably have a very like specific product set that you have to be going after. Normally speaking, I would say you want to have your campaigns structured at around a 40 to 50% broad. You want to have probably 30 to 40% exact, and then a lesser amount in phrase, 10 to 20% in phrase. Now, that being said, if you have a very, very particular niche, such as yours, where you just don't have that many keywords that you can actually rank for, broad is not going to do as much for you in that capacity as something like an exact or a phrase match would. So I would actually probably leverage exact match a lot more frequently in that scenario, because you just have less opportunity. Hey, Noah, we also sell children's books in the UK. Wait, am I missing a message? I don't think I am, but either way. In the UK, September school starts. We crushed it, but October and November is terrible. Will December be the same? So more than likely Black Friday still. And December might be the same. I mean, the thing is, if you are focused in a category like children's books, right? There's very few times of the year. Like, that's still a very seasonal product. It's going to be around the time in which people start school. It's going to be around the time of gift giving. So things like Christmas. It's going to be, you know, potentially a little bit towards the end of the school year as well. So those are going to be like your three primary areas that you're focused on, or times of the year that you're focused. So for something like your products, December may be okay, but you're not going to see like the high sales volume that you probably get at the beginning and like back to school season that you normally would have. I feel like my audio here is quiet, but let me know if you guys can hear me okay today. If customer clicks on ad and then clicks on add to cart, but leaves the product in the cart for several days, is the sale still attributed to PPC, or does it become an organic sale at some point in time? So this is attribution data. So technically speaking, it would go towards PPC. It depends on how long they left it in the cart. So typically speaking, most Amazon ads have about a 7-day attribution window. So if somebody clicks on the ad and then purchases it within that 7-day window, then it will attribute to the PPC. If it goes over that, then it won't attribute to the PPC. What if the customer clicks on an ad, then bookmarks the page, and then returns in a few days to purchase? Does this become an organic sale? Technically, no. So it's still within that attribution window time. So time is the biggest aspect here, Jeff. Whenever you are dealing with any kind of Amazon attribution towards ad sales, that's the biggest factor. Is like, are we talking about 48 hours or are we talking about a week and a half? Right? Those are different attribution timeframes. So that's what is going to attribute whether it's PPC or whether it's organic at the end of the day. Now, a couple of factors here. You can do things to increase this, right? So brand tailored promotions, brand card banners, 90 days, right? There's a purpose for that. Same thing with the aspect of like coupons. You can do 7 days for the coupon, right? So that can be a factor that would then increase that audience sizing. You can also do retargeting towards brand cart abandoners as well. So it's one of those that, yes, the attribution can be a little wonky at times. It's one of those that go in with the idea at the end of the day. If you have, for instance, a large segmentation in your brand analytics that shows people are essentially abandoning at the cart checkout phase before they purchase, after they add to their cart, figure out why, right? Why are people not buying your product after they add it to the cart? Target those people specifically with your advertising. Happy Friday, Noah. I need to transfer AWD inventory to FBA, or does Amazon do it automatically? You can set it up so that Amazon will do it automatically, but it is not just automatically on. So you actually have to turn the setting on where AWD will drip inventory into FBA. That's just under your AWD settings. Hi, my Amazon PPC since September 1 is spend 6,875, sales 32,717, ROAS 4.76, hate ROAS, tacos 2.32, ACoS 21.01, cost per click 99 cents. Given this data, what are some good actions I can take now and soon to further optimize / scale? Okay, so a couple of things to touch on here. None of these data points in of themselves gives me enough information to actually help you, to be entirely frank. One, because I have no idea what category you're in. I have no idea what you're ranking on. I don't know what your keywords are. Those are huge things. The two things that I would actually want from a data perspective right now to know for you is what is your click-through rate on average and what is your conversion rate on average. Both of those are the two areas that you should really focus on as well from a data understanding. One thing Amazon also just releases their benchmarks within advertising. It's a great understander to understand if you are higher or lower from like a cost per click and new to brand. So those would be two different areas I would definitely focus on right now to look at. But just given this data, I mean, it seems like you're doing really, really well. Honestly, the one thing I would say, your tacos is 2.32. That to me says that you are under indexing on advertising. I think you are just way under indexed. Unless you are a like name brand seller that everyone knows and that everyone, looks for, and you have a huge amount of branded search volume, then 2.32 tacos just tells me immediately you're under indexing on your advertising. You need to add more, essentially from a broad perspective. You need to be trying to find new targets. You need to be testing more. I think more than likely you're a little over optimized basically on your advertising, which sounds counterintuitive, right? You want to be as optimized as possible. You have a great ACoS, but given the fact that you're sitting at 2.32, my guess is you're either at the top of your category, or if you're not at the top of your category, you're over indexed and you're not scaling your brand as quickly as you possibly could be. Hi, my placement fees has been increased 1,000% per FBA box shipment. What can I do? That's crazy. Yeah, par for the course. Amazon raising fees. Who would have guessed it? Not a lot you can do. The only thing you can do here is essentially go with what Amazon wants you to do, which is send your product into multiple different warehouses. Amazon does not want to have to send your product all over the place. They want you to do that. So the only way to avoid placement fees, unfortunately, is to go by Amazon's standard of saying, hey, send it to these 5 different locations. Let's see. Yeah, so he says PPC sale is 32,717. Total sales 296,369. Yeah, it's good for total sales. Now again, that just tells me immediately if you're currently at 2.32 tacos with total sales of basically 300K, right? You're under indexed on advertising immensely. You're doing great from like an organic to PPC ratio, but you're under indexing. You likely can scale. I'm going to guess you're probably not at the very top of your category if you're only hitting 300K. Maybe, but unlikely for most categories, right? So you're probably really under indexed on your PPC and need to increase your targeting and your spend. Let's see. Oh, for reference there as well, I usually recommend people sit between 8 and 12% tacos. Like, unless, again, you are a super well-known name brand, you are going to probably sit somewhere between 8 and 12% to see some steady incremental growth. When editing the product details page for style attribute, should we put on keywords for SEO, i.e. navy round placemat versus round? If so, are other attribute fields SEO searchable for keywords? Yeah, so I would just fill it in with the round. You don't need to do the navy round placemat. It's not going to help you, right? Immensely. I do think that any back-end attribute that you can update for your products, you absolutely should update. There's no reason to not update any of them at any point in time. So definitely something where if you have the info, put the info in. That definitely helps from an indexing standpoint. But doing something like navy round placemat isn't going to increase your ranking for certain keywords. At least not in a meaningful way, I should say. Hi, Noah. Took your advice. Canceled best deal Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Just running a 10% discount for the 3 days. Challenging when most premium in category and others sell for less than my FBA fees. It's the bane of every seller's existence right now is the idea of just Chinese sellers. I'm hoping with the new tax implementation on the Chinese side that maybe that's going to increase some of the costs and level the playing field a little bit. Not holding my breath for that, but I think that could be the case here in the future. That being said, yeah, I think you're going to be fine with just the 10% comparatively to like the best deal. I don't think it's worth the cost or upfront that you're going to be kind of dealing with there. The big thing at the end of the day, if you're a premium product, make sure you're representing yourself in a way that you are a premium product. Don't use all the same imagery that all of your lesser competitors are. If somebody is selling a product for $10, just because they have images that seem to convert, quote unquote, doesn't mean you should have that same imagery. Make sure you are showcasing that you are premium in some way, shape, or form. How can we use search term impression share report to optimize the campaign? Yep. So the primary thing when you're looking at your impression share report, right, is that's basically telling you what your ranking is. So very similar to if you opened up like Helium 10 Cerebro, right, and you're looking at your product and you see what your sponsored rank is, that's basically saying, here's your search term impression share report. So for instance, if your impression share is super low, you're seeing at like 1 to 2% of total impression share, that means you're probably not being seen and that you're probably underbidding on that keyword specifically. So that's the best use case, I guess, there. So the best way to use it, look at it, understand if you're getting less than, let's say, 25 to 50% of the impression share, you probably have less of a top of search, and you also probably aren't showing up as frequently because you're bidding too low for that specific search term. Who is sitting behind you? So this is Magnus. He is the seller that died waiting for seller support. He is very festive, though, as you can see, but unfortunately, his seller support case has still gone unanswered, and seller support has been nowhere to be found. So he unfortunately has left us. Brian said audio is good. Good to know. Good to know. Hi, Noah. What to do if the client doubts most of the recommendations you make and always pushes their instincts, quote, you should put the quotes on the instincts, and you need to waste time explaining why your approach is better. Okay, so every single client at the end of the day, and this is actually a really, really funny thing. I mean, I've been in this industry and not just like Amazon, but e-commerce as a whole for over a decade, right? And one common trait that many sellers, brand owners, just anyone, especially in the Amazon space, have, that if anybody has ever done moderately well on Amazon, and I'm saying, they've ever reached like 6 figures even in sales revenue or anything like that, they get an ego like they know best and they know everything in between, right? And that their way is best, and it's very hard to beat that out of some people. And this used to be way worse than it is nowadays. As it's grown, it's actually gotten a lot less frequent. And as more information and more just education has come out, that's just like this right here, free education, that kind of stigma has gone away a bit, but it's still present in situations like this, right? And it's always been really funny to me because, the guy who is doing 150,000 a month is basically then going to people who've done 1 million a month and being like, nah, that's not the best way to do it, right? And that's a very similar situation to what you're probably facing here, Serge. And so my best recommendation whenever dealing with clients at any point in time who push their instincts, a lot of that is that it comes from a fear response, right? A lot of that is they are fearful to change anything because they think that changing something is likely going to have a negative outcome rather than a positive. So always, whenever you're working with a client like this, focus first and foremost on what your goal is that you're trying to achieve by making the change, right? So what is the desired outcome that you have here for the recommendation that you have? Say that you will want to increase or change a main image. Don't just tell them, hey, I want to change the main image and do X, Y, and Z and give that recommendation. Say, our click-through rate is currently 4%. We see on average that you should be closer to an 8 or 15% click-through rate. Changing your main image to have this hack can help that. They may still push back, but at least you set that precedence of like, here is the outcome, desired outcome that I am trying to achieve. What is the aspect that will do? What does increasing click-through rate do for them? What does changing, or adding a promotion, doing a brand tailored promotion, what does that do for them? And at the end of the day, every brand owner cares about only 2 things. They care about increasing sales. They care about increasing profitability. They do not care what you do as long as those 2 outcomes are the actual things that happen, right? That is the number one thing I can tell you. So any conversation you go into, any recommendation you make sure that those 2 outcomes are things that you are setting the tone for. Hey, I want to change the main image because it's going to help us increase our sales by increasing the click-through rate, right? Always focus on those 2 outcomes anytime you're working with any client, any brand ever. Let's see. Question from Instagram. How can we put bid rules? It's weird that this came up like this. How can you put bid rules? So bid rules is just a bid adjustment. Essentially on the actual campaign, it'll show on the left-hand side as bid adjustments. And you can just click that and add that for top of search, rest of search. You can do it for audience groups. You can do it for product pages as well. But yeah, I mean, it's bid rules are super simple. If you're talking about like actual rule-based advertising, I personally don't like it. Oh, well, it looks like Trends Culture maybe just put it over here. I don't know. Let's see. Here's the corrected version of your sentence. I don't know what's happening here. Can we set bidding rules the same way we set budget rules for ads? Yes, somewhat. So bid rules is just the adjustment, right? So budget rules, you can't do, if you're talking about like the idea of like day parting, yeah. So under the same exact area, you can set from a bid perspective to increase your bids, same way that you can set up to increase your budget. And you can also set those for a daytime, a specific, date or anything like that. So yeah, you can still set those exact same. You just do that again from campaign level versus doing it from the actual like bid level or the actual ad group level. Let's see. What is the complete step-by-step workflow of a successful wholesale product researcher from start to finish? That's not something I'm going to walk through right now, to be entirely frank from you. It is find product, verify product is something you can sell on Amazon and that you don't have to have any invoicing or anything for. Make sure you're going to make money on that. Buy product, list product on Amazon, sell product. Sorry, I mean, the entire workflow that I think you're looking for here is just, you're asking for like a 45-minute long video, basically. And to be entirely frank, wholesale isn't something that I really recommend, to be entirely honest. At this point in time on Amazon, it works in some capacities, but it only really works if you, one, find really, really good products, and two, if you're somebody who essentially sets it up in a way to be able to work directly with the brand. If you can work and find a brand that you can wholesale their products directly to, or you work through with distributors or anything like that, wholesale can be a great, great model. But if you're just looking to, like, I don't know, retail arbitrage or online arbitrage products, doesn't work really, really well in this day and age, unfortunately. It still can, just it's a lot more work than I think a lot of people want to go through. How to change in bulk those two guys? What? I don't know what this is saying. Keywords related to your product category and keywords related to your brand. When I try update like keyword or ASIN target, it return error. Are you getting a very specific error code when you're trying to do this? I assume you're talking about like flat files. What error code are you actually getting? And from there, we can kind of work backwards as to what your actual problem is. Let's see. Which KPIs should a lead product researcher track daily/weekly? What's the ideal format for presenting product research? I feel like a lot of these questions that are being asked about the wholesale stuff and like product research, this seems very much like a GBT type of thing. To be entirely frank, I know I'm not trying to say it's a bad question, right? But it's type thing where like this KPI you should look for, right? I don't know. We don't do product research. So for reference, it's like the one thing that we don't focus on is product research because it's hard and it's you're hardly ever going to find like a winner every single time. I would really, really just honestly, in this case, one, this seems like something you could just like get a format from ChatGPT, go through and do it. Two, there's a lot better resources probably than myself to find answers for stuff like this. I already answered this question. My bad. Hi, Mag Team. Hello, Sven. We're an Amazon agency in Europe. We noticed Amazon backed Google Shopping ads are right back before Black Friday. We had a traffic downfall since they pulled the plug from Google Shopping in March, especially in Europe. What do you think about their strategy? Any workarounds? Not really. So they started slowly adding Google ads back in for specific countries and regions. So for reference, in the US, Google ads are still not back on for Amazon. They still are not doing them. In Canada, they did bring them back and they did roll them back in, and they did that in, I want to say August or maybe it was September, one of those two. But Google ads for Amazon are back on in certain regions, but there's not really a specific workaround or strategy. They just are essentially saying, hey, we don't want to do it anymore. And to be fair, I get why they're doing it. Part of the reason why Amazon isn't doing this Google ads, to be entirely frank, it's part of their whole strategy around saying, hey, we don't want AI crawling our website or using us or using our data. And Google is very pro letting AI scrape anything they want right now. And so Amazon, I think, pulled all of their ads to fight against that because Google wouldn't not do that. So not a lot you can do. Europe, however, I think part of the reason they're doing it there is because it has stricter data and scraping qualities, right, than the US does. So there is that aspect at the very least. Hi, thanks for asking for more clarification. I don't see the other aspect. Let's see. Dude, this Hassan guy is asking every possible question around wholesale. Let's see. The first day of Black Friday week is the impressions and sales collapsed. I applied 30% bid increase rule on most campaigns. Impressions seem to recover a bit, but not the sales. what would you recommend? Are you running any form of promotion? That would be my question. So usually speaking, it's going to not be, I think, great the first couple of days because Amazon pushes the actual Black Friday deals so heavily. So if you're not running a deal the first couple of days, that's when you're going to see it. But over the next few days, those impressions are going to start turning into clicks, start turning into sales. So I would really, really focus on that. First and foremost is, yes, that's super common if you don't have enough of a bid when you first go into it. So you can sometimes under optimize on that side of things. My other suggestion here would be to make sure that it's very apparent that you're running some kind of promotion. If you are, you're going to have to be a little bit aggressive. I'd be curious to know, Serge, what the category is that you're running in here. And from there, we can kind of backtrack and see, is your category running a lot of promotions, right? Are you running any form of promotion? If you're not, then likely you're going to be a little under indexed and you just have to focus a little bit higher on showing up first. Let's see. Here we go. Hello, sir. My client is planning to launch their canned food products in multiple markets, starting with the UAE and then expanding to US and Europe. What would you recommend as the best initial market to enter? Are there specific advantages to starting in the UAE first, or would it be more beneficial to begin with the USA? Yeah. So my recommendation here, honestly, would be to start in the US full-heartedly. We currently don't have a single client who is selling in the UAE, and every single person I have, I guess, brand that I have spoken to, looked at, etc., in the UAE, all have the exact same problem, and it's that they cannot compete. You can't compete over there pricing wise, right? It's a really, really hard thing because the price differential is so large and there's just not enough room to get a profit, to buy, etc. And so I would really, really recommend, unless you have great margins, like I'm talking 100% plus gross profit margin, I would really recommend starting in the US instead of the UAE. The UAE is just a very, very small market as a whole, right? Like the daily sales volume in the US is about comparable to the entire sales volume of the UAE. So I would really, really recommend the US over UAE as a starting point and then work backwards. Always start with your largest market and go down. You can also look at like Germany. You could look at UK. Japan's another decent one. That one is growing year over year right now. So, but UAE, India, like they're such small markets right now that it's almost not worth it for the majority of people to even entertain the market. Let's see. Hi, Noah. First time, long time. I love that. If we have a broad match campaign and add the keyword as an exact negative, does it negatively affect campaign or reach in any way, except for obviously not showing up exact? Add the keyword as an exact negative. Does it negatively? No. So it doesn't negatively affect. So it's exactly as you say. The obvious there is it's not going to show up for that keyword. That is the essence of doing a negation at the end of the day, is that as you have broad campaigns, you're going to find a lot of search terms that don't convert for you, a lot that don't make sense for your product. They're not relevant. They get clicks, no sales, etc. Right? My threshold is typically 15 to 20 clicks without a sale is something that I'm going to negate. We do negations once per week on every single account, every single campaign that we're running, right? So I would focus on that. But yeah, if you're going to add it, there's no negative effect to the campaign whatsoever outside of exactly what you said, which is it's not going to show up for that exact keyword, which is good. That's what you want. And that is the essence of doing negations. In addition to discussing the best initial market for our client's product launch, could you also advise on the specific certifications required for food-related products at the initial stage? I'm not positive on every specific there for food-related, right? But for the US, for instance, if you're launching here, you do have to go through and you have to get FDA approval for most products. You technically can launch without FDA approval, but at a certain point in time, you will need it. Every food product category has, and any consumable has a lot of certifications. The good part about this is that Amazon actually has like a manage your compliance dashboard where you get all of that information up front. So any compliance documentation you're going to need, Amazon will tell you you need this compliance documentation to sell this product. So that makes things a little bit easier. Let's see. Weird thing going on with my jaw here. I don't like it. We want to ensure that we meet all Amazon requirements from start. Additionally, could you provide guidance on which document certifications we should prioritize? Yeah, so again, I'm not positive on every single category. Unfortunately, I do know that you're going to need likely FDA certification for your product. If it's a consumable product that people ingest, there's a lot of different ones. I would just go through and you can actually go to the manager compliance dashboard and it will put a lot of that together for you. See, cost per click is killing in Q4. What do you think? I don't think so. I mean, it's always going to raise in Q4 because you're going to have more sellers. You're going to have more people on the platform. You're going to have more buyers, more people investing ad dollars. So yeah, I mean, it's going to rise a little bit on average, but just go with the flow. It's part of the selling on Amazon game, so to speak. Hey, Noah, I effectively relaunched my product, dropped my price to $29.99 to develop sales velocity and stair-stepping my price up. It's day 6, 11% USP, and 4 to 7 sales on average. In a day or two, I will increase the price. By what amount can I increase the price without shocking the algo and tanking my momentum? I always recommend 5 to 8%. So 5 to 8% price increases is what I am going to do on a weekly basis. The point of doing 5 to 8% is, one, you're not going to get hit with a high pricing error. And then two, it gives time to incrementally get your average sales price up a level and then increase it the next week, again, 5 to 8%. So 8% on the high end. You can do up to 10, but over time, you're just going to kind of shoot yourself in the foot by doing price increases too quickly. And that's not going to shock the algo so much as it's going to essentially hurt your ability and get you a high pricing error more than anything. So there you go. We also have a whole thing. Actually, I think, what is it? myamazonguy.com/launch, I think. Let's see here. Maybe it's /price. Hold on. I know I have a 301 for this. It is. So if you go, I'm going to post this. Is on myamazonguy.com /price. And somebody will throw it on the screen as well, I'm sure. But if you go to myamazonguy.com /price, you can actually look at our structure for how we typically are going to try and do this. And again, we usually are going to recommend doing a price increase of around 5 to 8%. Obviously, that's going to depend, but that's a great resource for you just to kind of see how much you should be increasing. Thanks for asking for clarification. My CTR for the year is 0.5. Okay, not the worst, not the best. My total sales this year is 991.2K. My category is picture frames / home decor, and my conversion is 10.2 since September 1st. Okay. Honestly, not bad numbers at all. For picture frames, home decor, yes, I can tell you if you're only selling 1 million a year, you definitely are not at the very top of your category because that's a huge category. So a couple of things touching on here. One, your CTR is kind of low. 0.5 is pretty low in my opinion. I'm curious if that's just your advertised CTR or if that is your total CTR. If it's your total CTR, that's really, really bad. If it's your advertised CTR, it's not great, but it's okay. I usually want to see people closer to a 0.75 on their advertised CTR. So if you can get your CTR up by 0.25, you'll be in a really, really good place. Any higher, even better. But definitely focus first and foremost on your CTR. That's just going to increase you across the board. Secondly, it does just sound like you're way over optimized on your advertising. I think you need to be developing and adding more ad spend in, new keyword targets in as well. Focus right now probably on broad, top of search as a primary, just to try and see if you can get more. But don't do any of that until you optimize your main image so that you can increase that CTR across the board. Conversion, you're in an okay place. I would like to see conversion a little bit higher, but 10% isn't awful by any means. Let's see. Question from Instagram, the salon guy. Any tips on optimizing my bestseller listing? Is Helium 10 good for that? Is the title important? Hero image? All of the above. You can actually head on over to our website, myamazonguy.com. Check out on our site, we actually have a full thing about listing optimization. So if you just go over to the site, check that out. I would really recommend it. Gives you a good breakdown of everything. You know, one, if you want us to optimize it, we absolutely can, but it also tells you what you should be doing to optimize. SEO is going to be first and foremost one of the most impactful for you, as well as your hero image for click-through rate. Click-through rate is the end-all be-all on Amazon at the end of the day. Harris, what kind of problems can you face when you move from 1P to 3P? How does it impact your relationship with Amazon? Couple of different things. So if you yourself are trying to move from 1P to 3P, you actually have to get Amazon to give you permission to move your product over there. And you have to get them to not keep wanting to sell the product. It can be kind of difficult at times. Now, is it impossible? No, you just have to work with an Amazon Vendor Central rep. If you don't have one specifically, that's going to be your primary problem. I would honestly, in that case, Harris, if you don't have a rep, reach out to us. We can help you out with that. That's going to be really, really important. Now, when it comes to the actual move aspect of things, there's no real difference there. The only thing is that if Amazon keeps your product gated, then you're going to have a huge problem actually selling the product. You're going to get flagged. You're going to have changes happen. You won't be able to make changes on the listing. A lot of difficulties there. So just make sure you get Amazon to ungate your product. Amazon rejected our price increase in our vendor negotiation, and now we want to have more power on pricing. We have an assortment of 30,000 plus ASINs with the 80-20 rule. It's always the 80-20 rule. Now, as we are moving to launch 3P, my main concern is what kind of issues can I face and how Amazon will react to this. Will it impact our relationship as 1P? It technically will, but again, the biggest thing is just working with them directly on saying that you want to no longer offer certain products, right? That's part of the vendor negotiation that you do, is that you're just not going to offer certain products anymore. Tell Amazon that you want them ungated so you can offer them in 3P situations. We have direct internal Amazon reps that we work with usually for these transitions, because it can be a bit of a difficulty, so to speak, anytime you're trying to transition from 1P to 3P, and Amazon doesn't want you to, is the bigger thing. So you're not the first person, to be honest, that I am hearing about them wanting to essentially do price increases, or even in general, try and sell for a lower price. Amazon has been getting really, really handsy when it comes to Vendor Central on margins. And I mean, earlier last year, they started doing the thing where it was the Vendor Central purge, where they kicked, thousands and thousands of people off 1P. I think that's going to continue being a theme into the future as well. And I think this is just their way of kind of doing that without necessarily doing it. It says there is no such target to update. I try to update bids, for instance. What is this in relation to? Am I missing a question here? I remember this person put a question in, but I can't. I don't know what the first question was. I'll find the first question. Hold on. Hold the phone. Oh, they're asking about the key. They're trying to update keywords. Target. There's no such target to update. That sounds like maybe you're not inputting to the correct area. That's the only thing I can think there. I guess I still don't understand what error code you're facing there, Math. Give me the error code and we can, again, still work backwards. What is a good way to reduce returns? A lot of my returns are bought by mistake, and that's hard to get data out of so that I can work on actionable items to address the root reason for the return. Okay. So Amazon returns suck because as like a consumer, they don't give you many options to choose from, right? And so a lot of times people will do the bought by mistake, because the true thing is they bought it thinking it was going to do something else that they now realize it doesn't, right? So the most actionable thing you can do in this scenario, your infographic images. So big thing, reading is for robots, pictures are for people, right? So make sure that your infographics very clearly display what it is that your product does, how it solves X problem, anything like that, all of the different aspects around your product. Now, this is going to vary from category, right? I just worked with a seller this past week. They sell apparel items. A big issue they had with returns was the aspect of they were selling belts specifically. And an issue they had is that people didn't realize when they were buying the belts that is a universal belt that they are supposed to cut to length, right? And so what did we do? Well, we worked with them to create an infographic that literally, that is the second picture. It is a cut it to your own length so that now anybody who's buying it knows first and foremost, that is what this product is, right? And that is something that they are expecting. I'm expecting to really reduce the number of returns they have because that is like their primary issue. Great way to look at this as well, Garbage. Go through all of your reviews, all of your negative reviews, and see why people left negative reviews. Update your infographics for that as well. It's really the only thing you can do in situations like this, unfortunately. Harris, we are trying to launch our top ASINs that were rejected by Amazon for price increase. Now we are using a brand new Seller Central account, so can they also flag our account as well? Launch, we're using brand new. They're rejected by Amazon for price increase. I guess I'm not fully understanding if you're using, you're still going to get hit with the rejection for price increase, right? So if you're talking still on the 1P to 3P side, you need to make sure that Amazon knows about the 3P. You can't you can't list these products without Amazon knowing. It's part of Amazon being a vendor central is that they gate the products. And so if you're saying that, like, can they flag the account? Yeah, they can flag the brand new seller has started selling these products. I mean, they're not going to do anything to you or to the account, but they could just make it so you can't sell the product, right? They can gate the product and keep it just vendor central. I feel like MAG should make more vendor central videos as it can target clients who want those services from MAG. I know with guys offer services for vendors, LO, but it would have nice to have videos. Yeah, I'd be happy to make a couple of vendor central videos. We have quite a few vendor central clients right now, 1P clients. It's just vendor central, again, it's just dying, right? So it's not a huge focus in my mind at this point in time, just because it is very much dying, in my opinion. It's not going to be a program in probably 5 years, would be my guess. Amazon does not make a lot of money off of vendor central at this point in time, and it's not a focus. It's something that, you know, even at Accelerate this year, the way that you know that a certain program at Amazon is either not profitable or something that they're not putting a lot of time into is if that specific part of the company is not having a booth at Accelerate. And they had a booth. It had one person at it. It was not a very popular booth, so to speak. How easy is it to remove hijackers despite having trademark? Do I still need to purchase the products and give info to Amazon? Can I just not open a case in brand registry and remove them? So if it's a hijacker specifically on your listing, then yes, you have to go through the process of working with seller support, and you have to do that. Because the thing is that brand registry doesn't take down specific sellers a lot of times unless it's an IP infringement issue. They only take down the listing. So that's the big issue, is that you don't want your listing taken down. So that's why, yeah, you have to go through, you have to buy the product, and then you have to submit and say that the product is fraudulent. It says actually unsupported type of keyword type. I'm not sure still, Math, where you're uploading this. I don't know what it is that you're uploading. I want to help. I just don't think I understand what's happening. Hi, Noah. How can I convince an Amazon PPC based company to give an opportunity to someone with limited or a few months of experience? Exactly what you're saying right now is ask, right? Just ask them if they would be willing to train you, right? We have an intern program here at My Amazon Guy, and we will take people with zero experience and we will train them up to be experts in the field. We have been doing this for years. We have trained thousands of people. Now, is every company going to be a My Amazon Guy and want to do that? No. But that being said, there are tons of other ones out there that do that as well and want to do that. So, the biggest thing you can do, just ask, right? People like to give information. People like to give people chances, or at least I like to think that people like to, and try and help others around them, so to speak. So number one step, just ask. Black Friday event is messing with my BPC. Yep, that sounds about right. This past week, my sales momentum and relevancy has been good. I've been getting great placements. As of yesterday, mostly product placements, raise bids. You could potentially, yes, but what more than likely is the issue right now is that the overall cost per click for each one of the different areas, so top of search, rest of search, is probably higher than what your bid is right now. That's why you're primarily showing up on product placement instead of rest of search and top of search. So I would actually add modifiers to those two. So you're only raising your bids specifically for those. Because if you raise your bids overall, you're still going to show up for that product placement. You're just not going to, but you will also show up for the other one. So if your specific goal is to not show up as much for product placement, you want to raise your bids, but only for those two specific placements. Do you recommend having a Seller Central made under an employee's name for a multi-million-dollar vendor account if we are to go to a hybrid model? Curious from verification purposes of the account. I'm going to tell you right now, the answer is no. Harris, the amount of times and the amount of people that have submitted questions, coaching questions, or booked coaching calls with me, because of the fact that some problem happened on their Seller Central account, and the person who is the owner, and they need to verify their Seller Central account, the person who is the owner of that Seller Central account is some former employee that is now fired, or they split ways and they have no way of contacting that person, is crazy. I have literally had to coach people before where their option was either create a new Seller Central and start from scratch, or pay out a former employee over $20,000 to get them to do identity verification. Don't do the employee route. It's not going to be good for you. It doesn't matter if it's your own mother. I just make your own Seller Central. My listings went live yesterday. If I search, it's 50-50. If I can find it, sometimes appears, sometimes not. Is that normal for not to always appear in search for the first couple of days of the listing? Yeah, that's indexing and ranking 101. So when you first launch a product, you're trying to essentially get that product to appear in search. Now, something I'm going to tell people, and this seems counterintuitive, don't look for your product when you first launch, because if you search for something, find your product, and you don't click on your product, and then you don't buy your product, that can actually negatively impact you, because it's showing Amazon that people are searching for this and they're scrolling right past it. So I really, really recommend to not do that. But also at the same time, yeah, it's super normal if your product is going to be showing or not, because that's how Amazon's version of the algorithm is trying to see relevancy of your product towards specific keywords. Let's see. Hey, hello. My Amazon brand registry has been suspended due to the product detail page tampering issue. Product detail page tampering issue. I don't know what you're talking about. Is there a, I guess I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about here in new. You're asking how to reinstate. If you head on over to myamazonguy.com / I think it's just reinstatement. You can just check that out. We can help you out on reinstating this, but I'm not too positive here what your issue is as far as brand registry. That being said, getting brand registry, whenever brand registry is taken down, big issue, like big issue. Amazon does not take away people's brand registry lightly. And so if you did something to get your brand registry taken away, it can be kind of difficult to get back up as far as a reinstatement goes at any point in time. Let's see. I listed a product that Keepa is showing it is selling 50 a month. I have the buy box for a week now, but didn't get any sales. Is there a way on Keepa to identify when the product is sold? Not that I'm aware of. So, I mean, no. One thing to keep in mind here is just because something was getting sales, even if you have featured offer, the question remains, are you advertising that product? Were they advertising that product? Keepa's data also is not end all be all. Something is only showing 50, that it's selling 50 a month. That's not really something I would necessarily say is like a great offer, so to speak. It's not something that I would also say is like a great product to do from a wholesale perspective. So unfortunately, not a ton you can do here to actually show it. Keepa shows monthly. I would use Helium, to be honest. Helium's a lot closer in relevancy to understanding like what the actual sales volume of products is than Keepa, I think, ever will be. Let's see. Do you promote keywords to Exact from Broad during the price increase phase of a relaunch? Keywords have different success rates at different price points, so promoting early may not be good. Yeah, so you're saying promote from Exact to Broad. I do it the other way around. I usually start with Broad and then go to Exact. So broad targeting should help you figure out exacts. If you're not doing broad targeting already, I would definitely already promote that and look at doing immediately like broad targets. The big thing with broad is that broad works a lot better the more or the less specific you are. And it's just going to come down to your negations more than anything. Can you explain brand registry for dietary supplements? What documents need ready? So brand registry, in general, it doesn't matter if it's for dietary supplements, doesn't matter if it's for a deck of cards, right? It's going to be the same exact thing. You need to get a pending trademark with the USPTO. Once you have a pending trademark with the USPTO that is assigned to your LLC and your business on Amazon, you can go into brand registry and you can register your brand. Simple as that. Takes a couple of days to get a pending trademark if you go through a good place. If you don't know how to do it or you don't want to do it yourself, you can head on over to myamazonguy.com/trademark and we can register your trademark for you. It takes about 72 hours, and then we'll also do the brand registry aspect for you as well. Can you make a video on how to actually remove a hijacker? Should we go to the brand registry or open a seller support? What route to take? If there is a video already up, can you share it? Yeah. I actually know for a fact there's a video up because I was just talking to one of my team members the other day about hijackers. A great thing as well, if you ever go to our channel, and I guess I'll share my screen here so you can see what I'm doing. If you ever go to our channel at any point in time and just go to this little search button here and just do hijacker, for instance, you can find a lot. So here's one that Steven goes through talking about brand gating, things like that. There's one that I talk about how to deal with it. It's another really good one. Here's another really good one. I would do this one as well. You can see older Steven there. It's funny that like these older videos of Steven, he looks so much like older than he does even now. We have a lot of videos on hijackers here, Harris. I would check one of them out. I'm sure they will be of some help to you in some way, shape, or form. Did Steve get a refund for the broken bottles of Coke? I don't know. I should ask him though. That for anybody who's unaware, Steven went to Costco yesterday and he maybe spilled a bunch of his bottles of Coke, unfortunately. Oh, hi Noah. I would like to book a call with you for 1P discussion and 3P discussion. Happy to connect one-on-one. Yeah, anybody who ever wants to just kind of book some time, go through specific issues and areas, you can head on over to myamazonguy.com/coaching. And you can book a call with myself. You can just send me a message as well. You can book a call with one of my other coaches. We have a lot actually. And one thing in there, Harris, if you're going to book a call with a coach, whether it's myself or somebody else, Another great one that I would really recommend would be Brent. He is one of our senior brand managers. He has tons of experience in 1P as well. Probably the second most amount in the company, to be honest, behind myself, if not, even at my level as well. So either of us would be great options for you. You read my last message incorrectly. Promote from broad to exact. Exact to broad is demotion. Okay. I may have read, that's what I was saying. I was like, you don't do it that way. Okay, so when to actually promote from broad to exact? I don't promote something, right? From broad to exact. I look for specific search terms. So if I see that I am getting typically a good click-through rate, I am also getting a good sales rate for any type of search term whatsoever in my broad targeting, and it is one that has good relevancy across the board, I'm going to promote it into an exact. Now, specific things to look for. If you're getting 20 or more clicks, you have a conversion rate of over 10% on that search term, that's going to be one that I'm probably going to focus on and move over into an exact to just target more directly. What is a brand hijacker? Yeah, so a brand hijacker is one in which essentially somebody will list a product under your brand, or either they list a product with your brand name, or they try and claim that they're listing your product, but they're not, or they start selling on your listing for your product. But if you're a 3P seller and you don't sell your product wholesale or in retail, then you know that somebody is just essentially faking your product and they've hijacked your listing, so to speak. So that would be what a brand hijacker is. And with that, everybody, I think we're about at the hour. We're at time. It seems like we got through majority of all the questions today. So good Friday overall. Hope everyone has a great weekend ahead, a great week ahead as well. Happy Black Friday and whatnot. Anybody, we may not be live next week. If we are live, it'll just be a chill show with myself, and I'll just be hanging out, chatting with everybody. That being said, for those that are unaware and uninitiated, we are My Amazon Guy. We're a full service Amazon agency. What does that really mean? Well, specifically, that means that we help products, or we help brands get their products seen and sold. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Anyways, if you guys need any help whatsoever, you can come over and check out our services here. Some really, really important and impactful ones right now that I would recommend people do. Full listing optimization, as well as listing images. We're seeing a lot of really, really good results as of lately with our listing images, especially. We had a lot of questions in the chat here today as well that people are asking specifically, how to increase their conversion rate, how to increase their click-through rate. And that's where things like your listing images are going to be a huge, huge importance. So for anybody needing some help, come on over to our website, check it out. If you need extra assistance, you can actually also book a call with one of my team members, just myamazonguy.com/book. And go talk to one of my Amazon experts, and they can help you through any problem you have. So hope everyone has a great weekend, great week ahead, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, everybody.